Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello, and we have this very somber, scary looking picture here.
Yeah, the latest update in Texas is that at least 8 people have been lost and dozens are hurt in this massive crash. I mean, this was an enormous crash that extended for over a mile. Just incredible. They're still trying to get people out.
Yeah.
There are still people that are trapped in their cars, and they're still unable to reach everybody. There's a lot of video here for you guys to see. As I've said so many times, just because of personal experience and growing up in New England, like if you have a 4-wheel drive, it doesn't help you stopping. It'll get you going. And we don't know exactly what's going on. There's an investigation underway. This was on I-35 West near downtown Fort Worth, Texas. And so checked in with some of our family members that we know. Everybody seems okay.
Yep.
And we hope that everybody is okay in your families as well.
Yeah, we really do. And send the energy to those who are not.
Yeah, so, if we could all say a prayer right now, send out that positive energy that everyone will be reached, rescued, that they could hang on until they are rescued, and that they will recover from this traumatic, horrible event.
Yeah, please do. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. And here we see more than 330,000 people affected by drinking water shortage as drought hits southern and eastern China. I tell you, it makes me think there's some weather W fair going on, maybe on both sides.
Well, it makes me so nervous to see that affected drinking water shortage. That really, really bothers me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot going on right now, too. I was looking at the corn futures, and they were skyrocketing. They were really skyrocketing, and China's been buying up whatever they could get anywhere. And you're going to have a lot of countries, and it is happening, that they're not exporting because, they're going to save it for their own, because hungry people lead to protests in the streets, and it leads eventually to, overturned leadership. In many cases throughout history, we have seen this. When things get extreme, extreme things happen.
Mm-hmm. It sure does. Yep.
Yeah, so there's so much going on. Here, no water, and we're going to see there's water everywhere in other places. So, the big quakes? Well, that massive quake, 7.7. I saw other places giving it a 7.9. Some people did calculations and were figuring that it was probably more like an 8.4. We will never know, really, because things are always changed and cover up. But the swarming that's going on is still ongoing. And, you could see those sixes as far as aftershocks. And a couple of you guys, like Joffrey, our brother Joffrey over in Alabama, reached out and said, what do you think? You think it's going to be forming new land? And honestly, when I was looking at it this morning, I was like, how many aftershocks? Well, this morning there was 49. Right now it's showing 39, and this is in a 24-hour period. But you can see these are all big. I mean, they're all pretty much over 5, and there's a bunch of 6s in there as well. This is an area that perhaps will end up filling in. We had talked about Zealandia. At one point in time, this was a continent. And, it got submerged. And again, these are all things that happen in cycles. Mm-hmm. And, I think many of us, there's natural cycles, and then maybe there's cycles that are not so natural, artificially flavored cycles.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, so interesting. So it may be starting to die down a hair, but we're going to keep our eyes on that. And when we look in at what's going on, we had a brief respite over west of Tonopah, but it's going again. China Lake's still ongoing. There have been a few more quakes than typical going through Utah and heading up towards Yellowstone, or at least they don't usually show this many. Right. We still have a little bit of swarming going on in Idaho. Oklahoma, man, they fracked you, and even if there's no more fracking, I think the damage is done, because the quakes are on a daily basis when we look at Oklahoma. And let's see if we could get out of there. So, you got 9 quakes in Oklahoma. We have one to the northeast of Little Rock, heading over towards the New Madrid area. And that was a 2.3. And we have 4 dead, 1 missing, 60,000 displaced after floods across Java Island in Indonesia. 8 inches of rain in 24 hours. Putting this video together, looking at all the news, Cindy's looking and going, I know why I'm afraid of water. I know why I'm afraid of water. I know why I lived in the desert all my life.
I know those memories are, kind of touching on the cells right now.
Yeah, it's really wild. And we were talking about Indonesia. Indonesia is definitely one of the places on this planet that I can't think of any place that gets hit more by earth changes, natural disasters, really, than Indonesia when you get down to it. And, you have 63,700 displaced, 39,100 buildings damaged, and floods reaching up to the 2nd floor, and people again being rescued in droves. Look at the water's up to their necks going down this street. And, how about the rice paddies being flooded out? How about all the food problems that's going on? The food inflation's now it's starting to really go through the roof. We're really seeing this. And we see here in India, flash flood. The toll there rises to 34, 170 people still missing. It's just scary. It really is scary what we see going out there with the changes. And the people of the world are most definitely suffering. Let's send our prayers and best wishes out to the people in these areas. And this is really scary too. This one, it did almost get me to cry, listening to this, because there's people in here. And this is that lahar that we were talking about, that descended from Semeru volcano. Now, I wouldn't live right under a volcano or near a volcano, especially one that's active. This just flooded down. It just washed away roads. The people in here were lost. The people in this SUV that gets washed away. Very scary, very sad. Look what it did to the highways. They're just torn up like nothing. And they're wondering if it was a dam that got wiped out. But heavy rains again, doing their thing.
Well, especially, when it comes to deserted areas that aren't used to that water, the water doesn't know how to sink into the ground. So it's like a huge river.
And we have a lot of cold going on as well. Moscow is bracing for a major winter storm, and the records are falling in Russia. And there's video there as well. Mass disruption after extreme freeze hits the UK. Brother David sent me a bunch of photos and videos of the winter wonderland they have going on over in the UK, and he's in the southeast corner overlooking the channel. Incredible extremes going on all over across the globe. So as far as volcanoes, we have new activity this week for 5 volcanoes and 15 that are still ongoing.
There we go, more.
Yeah, it just keeps ratcheting up higher and higher every week. And 41 record lows set in Alberta, as Britain is suffering, talking about the chill there in Britain. And I did go and check. Now, this is Electroverse, so they have a lot of nice little data available over here. Things have calmed down somewhat solar-wise, as we know. A few days back we had the KP index up to 5, and right now relatively calm and normal. That could change any minute now, though, as we're talking here too about that record cold invading Moscow. Eiffel Tower requires blowtorch. Autobahn chaos in Germany. Well, yeah, and here in Texas too. And summer chills blamed for mass bird deaths in Australia. It's just been, one thing after another as the extremes intensify.
I know, I'm looking at this and my heart literally hurts watching what's happening to Earth.
And so, they're taking care of the ice there on the Eiffel Tower so nobody slips. And then, of course, we were talking about the Autobahn chaos where people had to sleep in their cars. Got to be prepared. You need to have that, bug out bag in the car as well, and make sure it's got blankets and extra clothing. Like a lot of times we'll go hiking and we'll just bring in an extra couple of jackets. I'll show you guys what we bought that we call them whoobies.
Yeah, called whoobies.
They're actually like wearable blankets,
Yes.
but my God, you look like Santa Claus in them.
Yeah.
But man, do they work. They are so warm, and they were like $50. That was our Christmas presents to each other.
Well, they hold up to a jacket that was made for like 20 below, so yeah.
Yeah, and actually, once we get hiking, usually I'm getting too hot in them, so they're amazing. Hubble discovers a concentration of small black holes at the heart of globular cluster NGC 6397. They were thinking they were going to find one big one, and they found a whole bunch of little ones. The mysteries of the black holes. Wormholes to other dimensions, perhaps.
Perhaps.
It is something when you see space. It's just incredible, the vastness. It blows the mind. And to think that it all might simply be the mind of God itself.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah, and that's something to delve into in more depth. And it's always a pleasure to read the comments from you guys, and we enjoy doing the videos so much where they're a little more philosophical, tearing into the history, exposing some things that people probably have never even thought of. Those are always fun. We've obviously covered the earth changes on a regular basis as well, but we'll be doing a lot more going into the mysteries.
Yes, we will. That'll be fun.
So, guys, thank you for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. Anybody that needs to reach us, it's EEARTS at protonmail.com or evolutionaryenergyarts@gmail.com. And, we've had so many people. We actually have 9. We don't usually book this much, but we're going to be hitting the road. So we allowed ourselves to really have a filled out schedule. We had like 9 solid days of a bunch of people, but it's been such a blessing meeting so many beautiful people.
Yep, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks, you guys.
Yes, and just hearing about the changes in people, after they, have their energies worked on, chakras opened, balanced, and the energy body flowing, because we not only go through the chakras, but we go through the major meridians as well. And then Cindy is often able to contact their guides, the angelic beings around them, even sometimes past loved ones. And it's just a blessing to work with you guys because we love you.
It is. And it's really fun when we put someone in soul alignment to hear back from them later and hear about how their life, how certain things came into play to bring them into alignment. That's always fun.
It's just wonderful. It's a blessing. As always, guys, be prepared out there. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.